Welcome. I'm Cynthia Hoven with eurythmyonline.com, teaching you how to build your own personal eurythmy practice of mindful movement. This is lesson number 5 of webinar series 4, featuring vowels and colors as expressions of the soul. Remember, these lessons are funded entirely through your donations at eurythmyonline.com. Today we will begin with the peace exercise.
I believe it's possible that some of the new people read some of the words that I wrote yesterday about the peace exercise, and they might be joining us new today just to get on board with us with this. So, with these words that I wrote yesterday, we'll begin our contemplative thoughts for today. Thinking how the only way that we can contribute to true peace in the world is if we keep our eye on the real essential meaning of life. What are we doing here? And it's, as we all know, not for wealth or fame or fortune. It's because we're on a grand, deep, and long story of evolution. And in the story of evolution, we are coming into our individuated consciousness from an ancient dream time, like the Australians speak of, like the natives speak of, a dream time that hooks its way all the way back to Atlantis, deep dream time. But we're coming now into waking time. And in waking time, our work is to recognize spirit in everything. And that's truly the mandate of the Michaelmas season that we have just passed through, to recognize the spiritual communities that we live in, including those unseen beings. And that's the mandate of these last festivals that we've been celebrating, Halloween, All Saints and All Souls Days, to recognize that we human beings have been entrusted with this great gift of being on planet Earth. And our work is to love her dearly, to tend to her, to take care of her as she serves us for our evolution. And if we keep our mind on that, then we are inspired to look deeply as we look through our senses at the world, to inquire, how can my deeds of ecological consciousness serve her? And also to look deeper at other human beings and say, you are real. You have a beating heart. You're evolving. How can we serve one another? That's what's important here. And to do that, we need to find our center. And that's what I dedicate this peace exercise to. And I like to imagine an extreme situation. What if I were in the midst of a chaotic demonstration? What if I were in a crisis of an earthquake? What if I were in a prison cell with my outer freedoms taken away from me? What source could I work from? Many events will try to deter me from my center, but I'm the only one that can find that inner door to spirit, right there. And I want to believe in that with you, for you, and again, work on strengthening that through the peace exercise. And may that enliven us and carry us through these days, weeks, and years that are facing us. We're in the time of a great turning. Let's do it well with spirit consciousness. So let's begin our exercise standing straight. You can take a stretch. Again, we all know this is not our eurythmy exercise, but this is our opening feeling. Who am I? And now we place ourselves consciously between heaven and earth. Those of you who have been working with me on this exercise for the last 5 weeks, you'll find your way into this exercise immediately. If you've already been working with this exercise, you already know our next gesture will be to spread our arms. But I'll speak us through it and build it up just to remind us of the different steps. Begin by thinking. Again, if you know the exercise, you don't have to take this step. But if you're new or want to remind yourself, we begin by building up the axes of space one by one. Here I stand. I feel both the smallness of my body against the greatness of the magnificent universe. And I also feel the greatness of the spirit that is living in me. High above me are the stars in the sky. Imagine one star above my head. You imagine one above your head, like your higher self, watching you, hoping for you, intending with you the best. Let the light from that star inspire you to stand straight. You lift yourself into this uniquely human posture. Let the light from that star shine down into the crown of your head. Remember, you don't need to move your arm. You're doing this just with your imagination. From the star into the crown of your head, accept it and let it run down through the whole length of you. Meet the earth and then go into the core of the earth. You are uniquely connected to that star and the center of the earth. What's your mandate? To be worthy of that living light. And now, without losing your full integrity and grounding, spread your arms wide. Feel yourself in the cross of light. Your arms are extended into the world of nature. Your arms are extended into humanity. Your heart open and vulnerable. Remember, your energy goes far beyond the tips of your fingers. You can only hold this extreme of above and below, right, left, because you are so centered in your heart, which is infinitely powerful. And now remember, there are 2 more directions. I'll move my hands just to show you. You needn't move. Move your intention, move your thoughts. Forwards, be aware of the world of the senses. Your eyes, your ears, your nose, everything in us is built to love the things that we see and touch. And now as a counter image, don't look through your eyes anymore. Let your gaze go soft and feel the space behind you. There is an image of all of the things that we don't know in life. The invisible spirit world. And now you're standing in the cross, and take your hands and fold all of that space through your hands and also from above, below, and right and left and front and back. Move it all into your heart. And breathe. Inside your heart, you hold an image of the whole world. This image inside your heart is what we remember every night when we go to sleep. What have you done? What has been inscribed on your heart? So this is a preparation for the peace exercise. We'll continue. Spread your arms wide. Here you are, feeling these 6 dynamics around you, and the 7th in your heart. And now we will leave this place of equilibrium and exaggerate the extremes. Go down, going down into gravity. And if you can't bend as much as I do, just just push your hands down. But if you can, come down here, clench your muscles and feel, I'm so glad to be a human being on the earth. I love flesh and blood. And yes, thank you for my existence. Now release and let your arms float upwards. I remember the stars. I remember where I come from. And come back and hold the balance in the middle. And I open my arms to the entire world, the community of life that I live in. And now I think only of what's in front of me, and with joyful gratitude, I love the sense world. And in a live class, we really play this and grab and touch and yearn for a world. And now take a step backwards or two, and just think of how deep the darkness of the spirit world is, and how far, far that goes, but what strength comes to you from the world of the archetypes. And now bring this all together and place it in your heart. Now, out of this ground of your heart, feel that your hands have the capacity for blessing space. Even if you were in a prison cell, spread your arms wide. As you go down, bless the space below you with peace. And going down, you go through space as if space is water, the etheric world. And you feel, may peace be below me. And now turn your hands up, feeling space, not just your hands. Feel the ripples of space around you. May peace be above me. And now open wide, and may peace be all around me. May peace be before me in this gorgeous world that I live in. May peace be behind me. May peace be within me. Breathe in self-reflection. Now, as you know, as you remember, I've told you before, you don't speak when you do it alone. You hear it with your inner voice. And this third time, I'll join you in doing it in perfect silence. Here we are centered in our heart, strengthening that sense of really spiritual groundedness that we have. And from here, we have a wonderful opportunity to do the expansion and contraction exercise. When I make that transition, and I often do it like this at home, I do this as my next exercise, I feel what's here in my heart is a perfect microcosmic image of the universe, the stars, the planets, the gods. And so I feel inside myself this power, the hope of spirit that's in me. And now I practice turning myself, opening myself like a flower, letting spirit, light shine all around me. I understand the perspective of my own self as a seed in the universe. And now universe gives me back light. Now I feel the seed forces. And when we open wide, our seed blossoms. First we share our seed with the world, and then we give it all away. Maybe we can imagine spirit acknowledges and thanks us for our work. And always, always, always feeds us up again. And open wide. And you remember the verse we do with this? Within my heart shines the light of the sun. Within my soul weaves the warmth of the world. I will breathe the light of the sun. I will feel the warmth of the world. Light of the sun pour into me. And warmth of the world. And then our last line, we drop our arms, flow through me. Breathe. We are aware of 100 other people around the world with us, standing for the light. Yeah. It is so natural, organic from this position, then to do the threefold walking with contraction, expansion. So at this point today, I won't do a particular threefold walking exercise. You know how to do it. I do it myself in my daily practice. But today, I will immediately go into the threefold walking combined with contraction expansion. Now, let me give a small word of caution here, or awareness. Even after teaching the threefold walking carefully to people in a live class, when we start doing a movement exercise, 9 out of 10 people will not yet in the beginning be able to do threefold walking and touch the ground with their toes first. 9 out of 10 people will be so counted sideways, concentrated on what they're doing with their arms that they'll do it like this, walking with their heels first. And as teacher, I gently say, and please notice to touch the ground with your feet first. In the beginning, it seems almost impossible, but I urge you to notice, are you one of those 9 out of 10 people that's starting with your heels first? Learn, develop the capacity to do contraction, expansion, touching with your toes first as you walk forwards and backwards. Are you ready? Open wide. I spread my energy into my wings, but at the same time, I'm allowing my full consciousness to touch my feet. Now you know why so much is involved in becoming a eurythmist. How can I make my will, my feeling, awake in all parts of my body at the same time? Enjoy learning how to do that, okay? All right, we take 4 steps forward, drawing forces into myself through my hands, gently telling the story to my feet. And backwards, unfolding my wings, opening my back space. There you go. And within my times the light of the sun within my soul weaves the warmth of the world. I will breathe the light of the sun. I will feel the warmth of the world, light of the sun pour into me, warmth of the world flow through me. There you are. Thank you. Now, in this session, in this webinar series, the next step has always been to do the rod exercises. Yet today, in acknowledgement of what a day it is, I thought I'll leave these alone for this class, and I'd like to go directly into the 5-pointed star with the vowels. We only worked on that a little bit last week, so let's re-enliven that. The first thing that I want you to remember, please, is how we will do the 5-pointed star in space. Then we'll add it with the vowels. So we always begin the story by saying, we are each a star. We're a pentagram. Please, without Eurythmy preparation, just make a star of yourself and see how we all look like a little star in our body. Now, remember, we've done this in webinar 2, series 2. Remember that we have to learn how to draw the lines of the star on our body. So we will begin by imagining a magic light, a magic pencil of light at our heads. You can use your arm for this as we get started here. From your head, sink a line down to your right foot. And now, excuse me, someone just has their mic on. So could you please make sure that you're not the one with your mic on? Thank you. We'll start again. Begin with a magic pencil and draw a line of light from your head down to your right foot. You can do that with your right arm. Second line of light goes from your right foot up to your left arm. Now you have 2 lines, do you see? The next line of light goes from your left arm to your right arm. The third line of light goes from your right arm down to your left foot. And the last one comes back up to your head. There you are. I will speak it again. From your head down to your right foot, up and across to your left arm, over to your right arm, down to your left foot, and back to the head, and shine. All right, let's put that together. We're looking for the lawfulness of geometry as it lives in our body. Our body carries all kinds of shapes in it, squares and diamonds and triangles, but the pentagram is one of the really sacred pictures that we have in ourselves. Now, starting with your hands and legs together, begin from your head. Let a line travel from your head down to your right foot, across to your left arm, straight across to your right arm, down to your left foot, back to the head. You got that? Learn that well. That's very ordering. We always do that with children starting in first grade maybe, but they can't do all that we'll do today. Well, we teach them this 5-pointed figure. Notice that I don't have my arms up here. They're at heart level. All right. We'll do that again. From your head down to the right foot. Left arm, right arm, left foot, back to the head, and shine. So now I'm going to repeat the careful teaching that I did in seminar 2 and speak about how we're going to walk the 5-pointed star. We did this last week and we'll repeat that again. But to learn to walk the star, we have a tricky learning process, a tricky learning jump, abyss to jump over to understand how this works. Because we're going to start at the head of the star, and we have to imagine the star in this dimension. Instead of being up, down, the star is going to be in front of us. That means, I know there will be half of you that know how to do this, and half of you who say, wait a minute, I don't get it. I showed you last week. This is you as a star. To walk the 5-pointed star, I have to turn this whiteboard, like this, so that I will be starting here at my head and moving towards my right foot, to my left arm, to my right arm, to my left foot, back to the head. So I'll show you once again. I wish I was there with you, then we can be sure you get it. This is the star, this is you. We lay the star down, and this head is virtually at my feet. Can you imagine that? And so I'm going to move to, if I were lying down, my feet would be out there in front of me. My arms would be there. So join me, please, in drawing the star first on the floor, although we must be cautious never to imagine that it's on the floor, but for a moment, just to be sure that I give you all the tools I can to get you oriented. If you lay your whiteboard down, the head is at your feet, the arms are there, and the feet are there. Again, head, arms, feet. Hope you get that. Head, arms, feet. Now I'll take my light pencil and I'll connect the lines like this from my head to the right foot, there, to the left arm, to the right arm, to the left foot, and back to the head. Have you got it? Why do we do this? It's so good for spatial orientation, but through this, we also develop clear thinking. If anyone finds this hard, you might also sometimes have a problem with spatial orientation. This really develops accuracy in thinking. Try this again, and the proportions are important, so school yourself. From your head, diagonally forward to the right, the left, the right, the left foot, back to home. Now, a difficulty here is that I'm pointing towards the camera. If I turn around, good people, then, as I told you before, if I were your teacher in a live class, you would just follow me without having to mirror me. So I will try it like this. Here I stand. You are standing behind me like a class of students, and our stars lie in front of us. We are standing at the head of our stars, each of us. We will go diagonally to the right, to the left, to that arm, across to the right, diagonally forward to the left, and back home again. Now I walk the star, and because of my limitations in space, I'll do 3 steps for each direction. Otherwise, I might do more, 5, 7. I'll do 3 right now. Threefold walking, 3 steps to the right foot. 1, 2, 3. Continuing to face in the same direction, I'll go backwards. 1, 2, 3. I'm at the left arm. Now I'll go to the right arm. 1, 2. Crossing my feet. To the left foot. 1, 2, 3. And now I see if I can get back home again. 2, 3. Am I back where I started? Are you back where you started? Let's do that 5 times. From the head to the right foot, to the left arm, to the right arm, to the left foot, back to the head. Again, from the head to the right foot, to the left arm, to the right arm, left foot, back to the head, and again, to the foot, to the arm, to the other arm, to the foot, back to the head. 2 more times. I'm feeling the geometry on my body. I feel diagonally forward and back. I feel that shoulder. I'm led to my left side. I'm back again. And now 1 more time, but let me give you 1 more instruction here. I said to feel the form as if it's on the floor. No longer. Now we're going to lift the star up, and you're going to feel it in your heart, at your heart level. So imagine the star spread out into space at the height of your heart. And your heart follows this first line of light to where down below your feet are taking you. Your heart carries you back here. Lines of light written out of your loving heart. I'm up here and back to your head. All right. Now I'll turn around and I'll kind of pull you in these directions. I won't move it myself. Let the star be up at your heart level and come towards me. Come to your right foot, to your left arm, to your right arm, to your left foot, back to your starting place. And once again, notice I'm not pointing to the floor anymore. I'm pointing to this level. From your heart, come to your right foot, to your left arm, to your right arm, to your left foot, and back to your heart, to your head. And now, we'll do this with the 5 vowels, A, E, O, and U. And we'll do them in this order. A above, A in the middle, E balancing above and below, O the level of the heart, and U from below streaming upwards. Remember, the journey of the vowel is in movement, and it must always be done with the feelings that we've cultivated so carefully in all of our lessons. Nonetheless, the head must be held straight as you pour all of your feelings into your body. If you are new to the webinars with this series, it will be very important that you go back and learn all the other things that I've taught about the vowels, or join us in a future webinar series where I do them again. But it's really important that for the adult learner, that these are not done merely out of meditation, out of, out of imitation, but out of really activating your inner soul qualities. One more word, allow me to say one more thing, please. The importance of working with vowels is that they really strengthen the clarity of the soul life. As a eurythmy therapist, we know, I have learned, I use these for a patient who's feeling kind of unsteady in their soul, timid, easily shaken off, can go all the way to the extremes of schizophrenia. So that someone who might be feeling so uncertain of themselves finds clarity through these powerful archetypes. I may assume that none of you will have that misfortune for schizophrenia, but it's still a time where we're so easily distraught by what's going on. And this connects us with archetypal soul forces. So nice, strongly, objectively clear. Let's go through the 5 vowels on the 5-pointed star 5 times, and remember, you don't speak them. I'll speak them for you the first couple of times. I like to start with my hands at my heart. It's not necessary, but it really gives me my good orientation. Here we go. Ah, e, e, o, o. And rest. Ah. Notice how I'm practicing, because the E, how with each step the sound grows. E, O. Here's the beginning of the O, the growing. With my last step, the sound is fulfilled. Ooh. In that way, I am integrating head, heart, and hands. Again. Ah. See how you have to find the right tempo with your arms, and I'm also getting the feeling. Ooh. Ooh. Good, we have 2 more. So how do I engage my inner self? I know that I will have a beautiful ah by the time I get there. So right here, I'm growing wonder like a flower. And there it is. I know that I'm going to have perfect boundaries when I get there. So right here, I start leaving that flower and I'm on my way to boundaries. From here, I grow my light self, E. From here, I grow already. I'm in O, but it's not culminated until I get here. From here, I'm growing my ooh, and it reaches its culmination when I arrive. Go ahead and try. And ah, e, e, o, ooh. And one last time. Ah, stars. A, gate. E, freedom. Oh, the loving soul. Oh, roots. Thank you. Now, again, ask yourself, look for that self, that experience. How can this strengthen me, consolidate my certainty of soul so that I know myself, whatever situation I'm in? What we did last week then was to add the owl and the I to this experience. So last week, we started in the center of the star. We walked backwards with owl, like we're opening the gates. Remember, that's a sun sound. Then we had A, E, O, U, which we just practiced. And then we return to our core center with I, the moon gate. There's so much more to talk about that when we finally open the book of the planets. We're not there yet, though. More to learn. But now at last we have the 7 archetypal sounds. So let's practice that. Now stand in the center of what would be your star. Take 3 steps back. We won't do the whole star this time. Take 3 steps back. 1, 2, 3. 3 steps back to your center. In anticipation of what we're going to do, as you take 3 steps back, feel the light behind you. Feel that you're taking the grandeur of the sun. Walk back. You might imagine the Egyptian sun worshippers. And as you walk forwards now into the front space, come with a different kind of delicacy. It's like you're walking into your body, into your life. Again, walk back. The grandeur of the sun, delicately into birth. Once again, this will be owl, and this will be I, moon. Now, do you remember how we built the owl last week? Like this, or this. But the grand owl has one arm open in ah, the other paralleling it in ooh. Let's carry that grandeur backwards. Ow. And let's come forwards with I. Often we'll do 2 eyes back and forth. And the I is this gentle movement from side to side as the arms gently cross. As it looks like a crescent moon, although that's not really my intention. My intention is to come in, consolidate, and slip out. The I is always this movement. It's not like the other vowels, a fixed form. The I is always gliding, sliding, slippery. In metallurgy, it's the sign of silver, which is used in homeopathic medicine for bringing movement into a healing process. All right, we're going to walk backwards again with ow, ow, and forwards with I. Backwards with ow, and forwards with I. I'll change arms merely to show you it can be done. Ow, I. Then I come to rest. As always, as we've been practicing at the end, you feel this quiet. Now let's do the 7-part sequence, starting with the great ow, and then ah, a, e, o, u on the star, and sliding back into the moon. We'll do that 5 times. Trying to think if I should turn around for you. I will. I'll turn for the first 3 times. I'm in the center of my star. I'll begin by walking back, as you will also. Oh. Ah. A. E. O. Ooh. Now I'm going to add a little word about color, and even though this is a little bit premature, this will nudge you into anticipating where we will be going. Ow, glows with whiteness. Ah, peaceful green. Ah, A has an imprint of red underlying it. A. E. Yellow. Oh, grand orange. Oh, solemn blue. And I have violet. These are the colors of the planets. This is only one layer of what we work with. So don't get too dogmatically fixed with these colors. Nonetheless, these colors are always a kind of mood around each sound. There's more to learn. Backwards. Oh, in white grandeur. Ah. A with red. Light yellow E. Oh, the grandeur of orange. Ooh, blue, violet, eye. Good. Try again 2 more times. Oh. Ah, please move even without me. A. Going sideways with a yellow E. Orange O. Ooh. And I. Good. One last time, and with this you really will really consolidate this whole journey we've been on with the vowels. One more time, please. Ow, in sun whiteness. Ah, goodly green. A, firm and fiery Mars, red. E, yellow, movement. Oh, the royal wisdom of orange. Oh, solemn blue. I, with the devotion of the priests and kings. Thank you. Like I said, there's much more to learn, but we won't open that door until we get to studying the planets in the springtime. So we've still got some more steps to go for that one to learn all of that. Let's take, though, another step today into the colors. And we have worked so far understanding that colors are not merely pigments. Colors are experiences. They are, in the biggest sense, the deeds and suffering of light. Yes, they are beings, they're atmospheres. You can walk into a room and feel it's yellow or it's blue and so on. Colors appear where light and darkness are talking to each other, where they're intersecting. And they all have different, dynamics. For me, I don't see auras with my eyes, not at all, but I can have a color sensation of another person. And so if someone says that person had a red aura, I understand what that would mean. And so, and we started with blue. And you remember that blue is born close to darkness. And then we went into yellow, streaming light. You feel how each of these things, these experiences, move your soul as well as your body. Green mediates between blue and yellow, and where they come together, we have planes of light that are neither too light nor too rounded. They're always trying to dance and find their rightful balance between yellow, green, and green, yellow. And you remember we then went into red, this convex experience, red, flaming, red. You have to pull your hands back on that. We also have orange, which is somewhere between yellow and red. With orange, we push into our hands, but not yet with this incredible convex experience. Orange. And last week, then we also learned the violet, which is a blue pushed into, with a bit of tension. So it's blue with red inside of it. And this red is trying to break out, but the blue holds it back in. So you have to feel there's a real activity in my arms as I create blue. Now, the next step is to look at black and white. And remember that color happens where they talk together. In preparation, let's consider the difference between darkness and black. Because darkness can be considered this maternal womb of the world before light crystallized wisdom and understanding and forms. So if we hold ourselves in darkness, we can feel that we have selflessly in a mood of the maternal womb of worlds. I won't linger there, that's not a color per se, but I bring that first to say how black is a very different experience, because black is really the ultimate contraction into nihilism, into nothing. If I encourage you to find the black now, I want you to be aware that you aren't going into that world to live there. Just want you to feel moving from black into some real annihilation. And in fact, you would bow your head, you would shut everything down, you would bring your auric space right in close to you. You'll get cold. And you notice even that you're not going to cramp your fists. That would be too much red inside here. You're going to hold everything. Try to close all the doors, but without making red tension in them. Close the doors and feel an objective nihilism, nothing. And now, what would be the complete opposite of that in white? Black comes to complete contraction, and white is complete movement. But without definition. Can you imagine if you could actually see the light that surrounds us? And if you've thought about the light theory, you know that we can't ever see light. We can see the source of the light, maybe. We can see what light does when it shines upon things, but light itself is flooding space. Only makes things visible when it touches darkness. So when we do light in movement, we have to discover a completely unusual movement quality. It's not streaming like yellow. It doesn't want anything. It's just flooding space. I leave my hands open, my arms open, and feel in white light, I feel spirit presence. You can move your arms everywhere. It's a very improvisational feeling. Yet on some level, I feel my hair almost stands on end. My aura opens up all its doors. Wonder, but I can't will anything with this white. All right, and rest. White is the home color for the sun. When I do the sun, though, I want you to, I won't be actually moving this, the gesture for white that I just learned, but I make my aura feel light-filled, white-filled, because it belongs to the sun. Dear friends, we know I can't take you all the way into a full color poem, but next week I'll bring a short meditative verse to take us deeper into the color study. A verse that begins with, in darkness I feel God's presence. In rose red I feel the breath of life, and so on. We'll come to that next week, in addition to working on the vowels and things we've been working on. I would like to end today doing the Hallelujah. The Hallelujah again, knowing that we're all connecting with one another. In previous conversations, we have acknowledged that the most wonderful way to do the Hallelujah is to do it 3 times in a row, once for self, once for the space that we're in, and once as a giveaway to the spiritual world. And in that giveaway, we can very beautifully practice doing that as an all souls or all saints activity. Give it away. As I said before, those who live as pure spirits after they have died, they can perceive Eurythmy better than almost anything else we can offer them. We offer our thoughts, and then we inscribe things into the etheric world they can see. When we stand together today, we won't do a series of 3. We'll do one beautiful Hallelujah, and we will just go as grounded and magnificently as we can with this Hallelujah, giving it to our planet. Whatever happens in our elections today and in the years and the decades that follow, the most important thing is that humanity comes to a place of being carriers of wise love in the world, that we take care of our planet as we get there. And so, connecting with one another, let's raise our energy as high as we can and give it away. Standing straight. Fold your arms. Remember to begin the Hallelujah we feel. I purify myself of everything that hinders me from looking upon God. Now with the great H, we feel, together with everyone else who is here, we open ourselves to the Spirit around the world. And with awe, we bring Spirit light into this world. Bless the ground. With the sevenfold L, bless our feet and the ground they walk on. We bless our knees and the air they walk through. We bless the metabolism, this whole realm of fecundity. We bless our hearts all around the world. We bless our speech. Bless our thoughts. We bless our whole self. And now we reach beyond our daily existence, seeking deeper levels. A, stand at the threshold to the Spirit. Bless Spirit seeing. Bless Spirit hearing. May we all listen deeper. And bless Spirit knowing. May our deeds be grounded in deep understanding. We gather our forces and we lead them to the Spirit. Ooh. E. From the Spirit, we learn to stand balanced between heaven and earth. And with the blessing of awe, we give everything we have back to God. May the gifts of our lives be worthy. I stand here in this present moment with my commitments to life. Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll take a moment for questions. I want to, because we've been working so hard, I want to also remind you, in case some of you maybe haven't seen this, this is the book that I wrote that has meditations that I've written for each of the sounds of language, meditations and pictures. So you can get this on Amazon. Look for my name as a publisher, Eurythmy Movements and Meditations. If you don't have it yet, you might like to get one. All right, my dear Michelle.
Hello.
Can you come back to us? Hello, hello.
So at this moment, we have comments and greetings, but we don't have questions. But
I must have done a good job. You think?
Not the questions mean you didn't, but yes, lots of gratitude and appreciation. Yes. Yes, it's just streaming in.
I could have gone on for another 20 minutes. No, 5 minutes.
We have a question coming in from Ben.
There you go.
Ben is,
all right, Ben.
I'm curious if magnetism within the body will come into play at some point.
You know, that's not part of our perspective or our orientation. Yes, there is magnetism. It wasn't part of our work. We're working on a different level with the therapeutic eurythmy, and we work more with the plants and with the minerals in anthroposophical medicine. And It is true, Rudolf Steiner a couple times in making anthroposophical medicine gave a nod towards magnetic medicine and said, that's valid, but that wasn't his task. So no, Ben, not in this. I don't know anything about it really. My plate's full.
Imagine. Elizabeth asked, are there other sources for your book than Amazon?
Unfortunately, stores have never taken it up. I've self-published, and so Amazon is a self-publisher. That's why it worked so well. I'm hesitant I have a few copies myself, but it's a lot of money for an individual to mail books. If I mailed 200, I'd be exhausted. So I like to sell them through Amazon. If you come to my house, I'll sell you one. Or I take them with me when I travel.
Well, know that Elizabeth and Dana are both wishing for a book, and they may show up on your doorstep.
Okay, I'll see you there.
Yes, add more water to the soup. At this moment, those are all of our questions. Is there anything you would like to add or to offer at this moment in time?
I'm just so grateful to be with you, and I hope that my words were enlivening and give you something to do as we go through these times ahead that very well might not be easy, but we'll go through it. Maybe I should just speak a word. I keep saying we'll work with the planets in the future. Let me give you just a little doorway into what we have designed at this point. We have 2 more lessons in this webinar series. We'll take the week of Thanksgiving off. We'll have 4 sessions during the month of December, which is a season we call Advent. And in that, we're going to not do a lot of new material, but we'll start doing some beautiful poems in that and dedicate that work to what that whole sacred time of Advent, solstice, midwinter, Christmas is. So that will be December. It'll be refreshing and beautiful and inspirational. After Christmas, we'll have 12 sessions. I'm anticipating to go deeper into the consonants. After that, we'll do the constellations and the vowels, headed up through the spring, and then we'll start again with, wait, that was a little bit wrong. After the constellations, we're going to take a new jump and figure that anyone of you who's still on board by then belongs to a kind of advanced cohort. And we won't let newcomers come into that advanced cohort so that we can really go deeper with some studies of planets and constellations, physiology, and so on. And we'll start a new cohort from the beginning for beginners. Also, as I promised you, we're going to start doing short sessions beginning in December, which are just 20, 25-minute sessions, because I know I've given you so much to work on, and no one's complained yet, but I can imagine that some of you think, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how to make my own practice. So these will be compactor series for those who want to compact their practices.
Perfect timing. That gave just enough time for a few questions to join us.
Okay, all right, other questions.
Regina, I'm not sure if this is a question or a statement. So here we go, Cynthia. She says, interesting to see the colors connected with the pentagram. I would have thought the green between orange and blue to be green.
The green between orange and blue. So this I don't understand. I must have said something wrongly to give you that impression.
Let me see if she is still with us. and can clarify that question. And oops, wait a minute. Okay.
To be clear, the colors that I was giving were the colors that belong to the planets that the vowels belong to. So it's not an organic sequence written for every pentagram. It was a sequence that includes a specific vowel with a specific question, or with a specific color. So green carries a Venus quality, and that's why the first direction was ah, and so on. We have a lot more to learn about that. But I could do all 5 ways of the pentagram in any color I choose. I could have an orange pentagram all the way through and so on. In fact, that's something you can practice if you want.
Sounds like fun. Elizabeth
It is.
asked, does the up arm come down before both coming up at the end of Hallelujah?
Okay. E, and then comes the ah. If I just go like that, I don't feel that I've got a perfect ah experience. It's not forbidden, but I don't feel that I've really built the ah. So out of my E, my release, or I grab the ah out of my heart. So that's what's happening. What happens with the arms is a result of what I'm doing with my soul. My soul is going back to source. E. Here, I'm back here. Ah. And without that movement, I would have E, ah. It's not enough inside out in that way for me.
There we go. And I'm not sure if Christine's is a question or statement when she said, black is mysterious, how to do.
Black is mysterious, how to do it. And I don't really want to take you there. Oh, I would feel so terrible if I took you into black and people got stuck there, right? But it's because it's so well, it's diabolical, or it's actual. It's the complete egotism, me, and that's all that there is. So I don't really want to take you there and ask you to give your all into that blackness, but you just have to shut yourself down and feel as if you have come to earth and you have deliberately forgotten your source. It's pretty desperate.
There we go. One last question from Daniel. He said, is O orange Jupiter?
Yes, yes.
That was an easy answer. There we go. And oh, wait a minute. Allison asked if you could send a link to the book. I cannot find it on UK Amazon. Maybe I am looking in the wrong place.
Yeah. I'll go look for that.
There we go.
All right.
Blessings.
Good people. Blessings on all of you, and may today and everything that follows be integrated into the greater good, hopefully more quickly than slowly. Yeah, take care of your hearts. Bless you. Thank you. Signing off.
Thank you. Many blessings.
Thank you.